My video for January the 30th, 2018 is entitled The Insanity of Fighting for Real Change. Yes, of course I want real change, beyond the politics, religion, and fake monetary system that dominate our world. I would hope that all honest people want that too. However, I see people claiming to want real change who cannot even get along with each other. For example, as I've said before many times, I was part of the movement to restore the U.S. Republic, which is why I applaud Anna von Reitz and others like her who still carry that torch. I also want an interim monetary system backed by substance as opposed to fiat currency. Yes, I favor the currency revaluation, also known as the RV. Yet there are many who convinced me to buy some Zim, or yet the very man, rather, who convinced me to buy some Zim bonds, heaps ridicule on the Republic movement. Ironically, Anna is critical of the RV plan. To me, we would help humanity by working together instead of being critical of each other. Please, God, help those of us who want a better world come together and stop thinking there is only one solution when there are many small parts to the much needed fix for our troubled world, including the ability to cooperate. Yes, I mean, I have two friends, as the blurb implies, not implies, states, that are very involved in bringing positive change to humanity. I agree with Anna von Reitz that the restoration of the Republic is a key in transforming the government system from one of being incorporated to being one of de jure, or coming from the people, and a natural thing. The United States original documents were de jure, not de facto, not fake, and certainly not corporate. The corporation didn't come in for 100 years approximately after the United States Declaration of Independence. Not quite 100 years, not less than 100 years. They were already putting in the corporate stuff, although it didn't fully take root until 1913 with the Federal Reserve. And the other thing is the monetary system went from being asset-backed under, as I've said in other videos, under Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the gold backing was taken away, and under Nixon, the silver backing was taken away, so that since Nixon was in the presidency of the United States Corporation, there has been no backing whatsoever. The international bankers were able to print whatever they wanted out of thin air, and they also charged interest to the United States, which is where the national debt comes from. The national debt which cannot be paid because it's so humongous, so absurd, it would put huge liabilities on every single man, woman, and child in the United States, whether they're natural citizens or true citizens or born here or whatever they are. It would put a humongous financial debt on them because the debt itself is fraud. You know, Abraham Lincoln tried to do away with it, which is why he was shot. And people attack him, but that was one of the good things that he did, even though he was the first bar attorney to hold the public office, as far as my understanding goes. And of course, Kennedy also tried to put us back on the asset-backed thing and start printing dollars without borrowing them from the Rothschild bankers, for which he was killed. So we've faced all of these things, and they tried to, by the way, they tried to kill Reagan as well, because he also wanted to put in a real monetary system. Every country has the right to print its own currency. Now, I think it would be wonderful if all currencies were backed by assets. So I agree with my friend who says that Zimbabwe is one of the wealthiest countries in natural resources on the planet. And in fact, probably a major portion of the southern part of Africa. And there are all sorts of asset wealth in Antarctica and other places around the world, that if we just tapped into the real of things that are substantive of value. Now, of course, even assigning value to substance is in a sense ridiculous, because some people even say that nothing physical is real. That's a series of things that I've been involved in reading in recent, in the past week or so. Nothing is real on this work. The whole thing is just an illusion anyway, albeit a persistent illusion. It's one that we have to deal with, because that's our experiential reality. And reality, whether it's an illusion, whether it's scientifically an illusion or not, it's still something we have to deal with. So you can't just brush everything off and say, well, it's just an illusion. If you do that, as I've said in other videos, you may as well do what I know others have done, is just opt out and say, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to play this game. So there's a whole lot of insanity on this planet. And the big insanity is why a loving God would allow demonic elements, people that have a propensity toward war, a propensity toward lying and deception, a propensity toward wanting to be in control, having a lust for power, and making a name for themselves. I will be like the Most High. You know, crazy, insane stuff, folks. This is the paradigm that we live in, and these are the issues that we have to deal with. And many of us are trying to figure out how to become free and independent, not to hurt others, but so that we can help one another and lift one another up and create a world that actually works for the benefit of everyone. Now, obviously, if you have people with malevolent intent, that which would benefit them is to play their game. Well, their game is based on lies. You have to stand in truth. You have to stand in righteousness, if you will. What is righteousness? It's doing the right thing for everyone else. It's not violating another's free will. It's building together to support each other, not to tear each other down, not to break things apart, not to benefit for yourself without it helping others as well. It's a whole different way of looking at things, but we, humanity, have been totally brainwashed by this corrupt system, and we've lived and still live on a planet based on lies. Now, people attacked me yesterday because I liked Donald Trump's speech, and he is saying some good things. He could be, as some suggest, the greatest president in U.S. history, because he may be turning over the corporate structure back to the people and encouraging other nations to do the same, to get away from the monetary implications of government control and mind control, and restore freedom for everybody. That's what I want. I want freedom for people on every continent, in every nation, every color, every race, every religion. I want freedom, but we have to, as far as religion goes, learn to love one another. And that's true in a political sense as well as it is in a religious sense. We have to become spiritual beings, recognizing the interconnectedness of all life, not even just on planet Earth, but everywhere. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.